morning. I'm Dr. Claire with the Southmoreland School District, and today we're going to be talking about our Title I programming for 2024-2025. Today we'll talk about, in addition to some of the folks who support us at Title I, how the money is spent, where the money comes from, what Title I means, and our plan for 2024-2025 to use those funds to support student learning at our earliest levels. So first, let me introduce to you the Title I related school personnel for SPC. If you have students in the Southmoreland Primary Center, Mr. Rawhide, who's the principal there, Mrs. Sarah Whitaker is the counselor, Dr. Tracy Kuhar-Long is our intervention specialist at SPC. Today we're hosting this at Southmoreland Elementary School, so let's talk about the folks who will be here. At SES, we have Mr. Daniel Krofchek, he's the principal here. Mrs. Levina Hoffer is our reading specialist, and Mrs. Lisa Rumsberg is our school counselor. So here at SES, these are the folks who are Title I related school personnel. And then central office, Dr. Jason Boone is our superintendent of schools. I'm Dan Clare, I'm the assistant to the superintendent and our federal programs director. And Mrs. Lori Herman is our administrative assistant for communications, child accounting, and federal programs. So those are our central administration folks. So what is Title I? Title I is the largest federal aid program in America's schools. It provides for extra reading and math instruction for those most in need. It is not learning support or special education. In the Southmoreland School District, we are school-wide programs, which means that all kids receive Title I programming. In some school districts, they have a targeted program where only certain students who are identified by criteria receive the service. But here in Southmoreland, we make sure that all of our students, regardless of where they're from or who they are, they receive Title I support. So how do we do that? Well, we start by gathering some data. We use tests like the Cadence, which measures our reading fluency and proficiency. We use NWEA MAP testing, which is a test we give 3 times a year. It's a nationally normed and referenced test in both reading and math. We talk to our teachers once they get to know our students so they can learn a little bit about what kids are doing well or they might need some additional support. And we do this service in classrooms or in intensive intervention programming outside of the classroom. So you might see an intervention specialist at SBC, you might see Mrs. Hoffer here at SES. Each school is required to have a compact with parents that we develop with parents. This one that I'm sharing with you is from SES, but there are copies of each of them here. Also on our website, you can see each one for our buildings. So the compact is what we agreed to do as a school, what the parent agrees to do at home to support student learning. It's a compact, it's a voluntary agreement between the school and the parents and the children at that school. It outlines how parents, the staff, and the students will share responsibility for our learning. And we make that agreement to inspire each of us to help students to reach their highest potential. One of the things that's really exciting for us is that we use really accurate screeners like Acadians and MAPS. We take that data and we look at that in addition to what we're seeing in the classroom assessments, and we triangulate that information so that we can say, okay, this student might need this specific area in reading addressed so that they can be successful in reading. So it could be fluency, it could be letter identification, it could be phonemic awareness, mathematics, it could be number fluency. We want to make sure that we know the needs of our students and that we're addressing them at the earliest levels of their learning. What I'm showing you now are the allocations for Title I funding since 2008-2009. This funding has existed since the 60s. But in 2008-2009, the district received $365,212. At one time, we were receiving, actually going back to 97-98, we received $645,523. That's the earliest number figure I have on this chart. This year we received $578,000 and almost $579,000 in Title I funding. So that's quite a bit of money. But you might ask, well, how do you use it? That's a great question. At Southmoreland, we dedicate our funds to staff. So I pay for teachers with this funding. You can use it for a number of different things. Some folks will buy this for technology. Some folks will buy additional materials, curriculum, books, resources. The reason that at Southmoreland I focus on funding for teachers is One, I want to make sure that we have enough teachers to keep our numbers lower, and two, we know that teachers can grow and improve. Any material that I buy, whether it's technology or curriculum, over time will break down and will need to be replaced. Teachers, humans, can improve. So we invest our money in making sure that we have good teachers who are providing excellent instruction, and we pay for our curriculum services out of the general budget in the state. Parent involvement is super important in this process. Between the annual meeting, our conferences, our special events we offer at the school throughout the year, like Read Across America Week, homework supervision, we have a YEA once a month program where some of our younger students at the high school are coming down and working with our kids here at the elementary and primary center. We have a great collaboration with the Scottsdale Library, and our PTA is amazing. If you're not a member of our PTA, please join. Super helpful. You have lots of access to things we're doing in the school. So if you're interested in doing that, please let me know and we'll get you some information on that. Things you can do at home, read with your kids at home. Please attend our open house. It's a great place for you to know teachers and see the building and get familiar with some of the programming that we have. Read Across the Year program, Read With Me at SBC is a really neat program that we run on a Friday where we bring kids from the high school down to read with our elementary students. We provide some parent trainings. Most importantly though, encourage, support, listen, and investigate. Spend time learning about what we do and why we do it, and be familiar with some of those terms like Read 180, Inspire, the programming that we offer here, so that when you receive things come home, you know what they are. Federal programming for 24-25, meeting the requirements of Every Student Succeeds Act. This is our plan for this year, which was made in consultation with parents from last year and this year, and also as part of our district planning for comprehensive plan. Number one, we want to continue to provide reading and math services in primary grades with an emphasis on early intervention and skill building, implementation of 95% group, ECRI, and core reading series, as well as screeners to identify groups and student needs. This is a really big part of what we do. Early intervention, we really push hard in K and 1 to make sure that kids are leaving that building with the fundamental skills they need to be successful. Here, we've provided additional support in upper grades to provide academic intervention, reading, and literacy. Academic support from all students will be provided through Scotty block time during the school day. At the middle school, we continue to provide even more support in reading and mathematics. We have a mathematics interventionist who's Mr. Prince at the middle school. So there are some other titles that the federal government has given to us, titles 2 and 4. We use those 2 and 4 together to add to 1 to have even more money to pay for staff, maximize the number of people that we can have working with kids. So in conclusion, if you have questions about what we do or how we do it, please reach out to me. You can call me at 887-2002 or email me at clarad@southportland.net. We're always interested in parent comments or questions or concerns. We will get back to you as quickly as we can. Again, thanks for watching the presentation. Thanks for being here today. And if you have further questions or concerns, please reach out. Have a great morning. That's it. Fort Pitt.